will see three different types of circulation which comes into the NEET exam, that is single circulation, incomplete double circulation, and double circulation. This is just a schematic diagram for you all to understand and learn the basic things which is required. Okay, so let's start with, now the single circulation example is fish. When it's fish, then it's obvious that they'll have gills. Now how do they get oxygen? They get oxygen from the dissolved form from the river or ocean. Now the thing to notice is that the heart contains only one ventricle and one atrium. Okay, now let's start the cycle from the heart only. Here the heart gives you the deoxygenated blood. Like, we'll see how the cycle is completed. Heart gives you deoxygenated blood which goes on to the gills. Now the gills, what do gills do? The gills have the same function as the lungs in humans, so the gills will give the oxygenated blood to the heart. As the heart is the pumping organ, so it gives the same oxygenated blood to the tissue. Now the tissue goes on again back to the heart by giving deoxygenated blood. This oxygenated blood has turned into the deoxygenated blood only because the tissues have used oxygenated blood to make ATP, that is the energy currency. Now the deoxygenated blood goes on back to the heart, and the heart again gives the deoxygenated blood to the gills, and so on. This cycle is repeated, hence this is called the single circulation cycle, because only one time, if you'll see this cycle from here, like it goes here one time heart and then here, done. So we'll see that only the blood passes one time through the heart in the single circulation. Now we'll get back to the incomplete double circulation. Why it is called incomplete, that is the thing to notice. It is found in amphibians and reptiles. Now we'll see that why it is called incomplete, because it has two arteries and one ventricle. Now what's the thing is that they don't have a septum. As in double circulation, we do have a septum which separate the bloods, deoxygenated and oxygenated, but here there's just the mixing of both the bloods, oxygenated and deoxygenated. Now what happens is that the gills, lungs and skin, whatever the means is for the oxygenated blood, okay, in amphibia or reptiles. Remember, here reptiles do not include crocodiles, because crocodiles are included in the double circulation because they have 4-chambered heart. This is a 3-chambered heart. This is right artery, left artery, and the ventricle. Now this gills will give you the oxygenated blood. This oxygenated blood comes to the left atrium. Now the left atrium will pump this blood to the ventricle. Same thing goes on, that the right atrium, which comes from the tissue, that is the deoxygenated blood, goes on to the ventricles, and the ventricles mixes up both the bloods and then pumps it out to the tissues back again. Hence the cycle is completed. Now we'll go on to the double circulation, which says that it happens in birds, which is easy to remember, mammals, which is so obvious, and crocodile, which is something to remember for NEET exam, right? Now what happens? Here we have 4-chambered heart, as we can see. It is the most advanced form, most useful and most precise form for the circulation, as they do not let the blood mix onto each other, right? Now what happens is, here's lungs, here's tissue, this is my whole 4-chambered heart. Now the lungs pumps out the oxygenated blood, okay, because the alveoli is giving us, that's a different stuff, we will just see it in the next videos, but the lungs gives out the oxygenated blood, right, because it purifies the blood. Now it gives, or it pumps to the left atrium. This left atrium gives out the blood to the left ventricle on the same side, that is the left side, right? So goes down to the left ventricle. Now what happens, that this left ventricle passes this blood through aorta. The thick artery is aorta. This aorta gives out this oxygenated blood to the tissue. Now the tissue uses up the blood, makes the energy currency, and as a byproduct it gives you some of the carbonates and carbon dioxide dissolved in the blood, which is called deoxygenated blood. Now this deoxygenated blood will get pumped to the right atrium. Now the right atrium again will pump the blood to the right ventricle on the same side, and then this right ventricle will pump the blood to the lungs. Why? Because lungs is the only organ, only place where this deoxygenated blood get oxygenated. Done. So here we had just these three circulations, which was very important. The thing which was very important to remember was this. This is like the most important thing which do comes in NEET exam, right? And one more thing, that double circulation is called double circulation because in one circle, in one circulation, or in one circuit, you can say, the blood is passed twice through the heart, right? So this is the points to remember. Now we'll see the human circulation into my next video. Thank you.